You've probably seen these images before, but now I want you to really focus on them. What do you notice about the hand positions? Why do the gestures of Buddha, Christ, and Seraphim of Sarov look so similar? It might seem like a coincidence, but check out these other images. The gestures here are the same too, and we aren't just looking at regular portraits or sculptures. We're talking about icons and representations of gods and saints. These gestures hold deep meanings. If they didn't, they wouldn't have lasted for centuries and even millennia. So what do they actually mean? How do they work? And what's the reason behind these hand positions? Why are they so important? If you're starting to get what we're talking about, give this video a like to warm your hands and keep watching until the end. We will show you how simple gestures can help you control your state of mind. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this type of symbolic hand and finger positions is called mudras, which means seal or symbol in Sanskrit. They are often used during meditation and are known as the language of gestures in yoga. Mudras are not just hand gestures, but also include positions of the body, eyes, diaphragm, and more. They are very important in many religious and spiritual practices within Hinduism and Buddhism. Mudras help channel the body's energy, influence the flow of prana, vital energy, and connect with the divine. Each mudra has a special meaning and can provide different benefits, both physical and mental. You might have heard the saying, "Everything is in the hands of man," which has a deeper meaning. This phrase perfectly describes the concept of mudras in India, China, Korea, and other Eastern countries. The healing power of mudras has been used for thousands of years. In ancient Vedic texts, it is said that using these hand positions can help people heal many illnesses, make their immune systems stronger, and lift their spiritual level. With practice, one can learn to influence life events and even the environment around them. This requires the ability to control energy flows. At first, it might seem extraordinary, almost magical. Can just positioning the fingers in a certain way really solve things so easily? It may be hard to believe and challenging to understand how this process truly works. So, I invite you to stay with us as we explore the fascinating world of mudras and see how these simple gestures can deeply impact our lives. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's discover this topic together, step by step. Let's start with something easy to understand: how mudras can help our health. Mudras are hand gestures used in practices like yoga, tai chi, and qigong. These practices aim to balance our body and spirit. This idea of balance was also important to our ancestors. There are many energy channels in our hands connected to our body's vital energy and organs. When we position our fingers in certain ways, we control these energy flows, helping energy and information move between different parts of our body. Simply put, mudras help us direct or boost the body's energy, making us feel healthier overall. But what are these channels? Until recently, science did not believe in bioenergy, energy fields, and vital energy. Physiologists said that in all the history of physiology and medicine, no such channels had ever been found. These channels, known as meridians, exist in the human body. Even though they have not been clearly identified yet, we do have systems like the circulatory, lymphatic, and nervous systems. Despite the lack of visible channels, various ideas have come up. One theory suggests that the fingers have many nerve endings, each connected to a specific organ. Pressing a finger can affect the corresponding organ. The thumb is linked to the stomach and spleen, the index finger to the kidneys, the middle finger to the gallbladder and liver, the ring finger to the intestines and lungs, and the little finger to the small intestine and heart. This knowledge is used by first responders in emergencies, especially when medicines are not available. For instance, if someone has heart pain, biting the base of the little finger's nail can help. In fact, massaging your fingers every day can prevent many health issues. Just warm and massage the palms of your hands thoroughly. This practice, proven effective, is hard to deny. Could our traditional handshake be a sign of this ancient wisdom? Share your thoughts in the comments. What if we told you that science has proven the existence of energy channels in the human body? Not many people know this. Why did all cultures and medical traditions before modern medicine talk about energy flow? Albert Szent-Györgyi, a Nobel Prize-winning biochemist, said this is no longer a secret to scientists. In the end, science found that the old knowledge about energy channels where vital energy flows is true. In different traditions, these energy channels had different names. In India, they were called nadis. In China, meridians. In Japan, hiraku, and in Tibet, vessels. According to Indian tradition, there are 72,000 of these energy channels, and diseases happen when the energy flow gets blocked. Even though we are made of flesh and bone, our bodies also have an electromagnetic nature, with frequencies measured by modern devices like electrocardiograms and MRI. Recently, scientists at Seoul National University proved the existence of meridians. They say this system is part of the cardiovascular system and has support from connective tissue. The first discovery of meridians was made by North Korean scientist Kim Bong-an in the early 1960s. He found special tube-like structures in the human body, and later research confirmed their existence. Modern Korean scientists have shown that this system is indeed a physical part of the energy points of the meridians. This modern scientific validation gives us a new view of ancient traditions, blending old knowledge with new technology for a better understanding of our health and well-being. Also, the use of certain substances has revealed fine lines that match the energy channels described long ago. These channels were found to transport a fluid that gathers to form stem cells. This discovery, though important, has not received the attention it deserves. Why do you think this knowledge, which scientists have known for a while, isn't taught in schools or reported in the news? Some scientists even believe that we're all connected through our energy and the flow of this energy, both in our cells and in our bodies. But that's just the beginning. Our Earth also has energy channels called ley lines, which are like the meridians in the human body. These ley lines link up important historical, cultural, or natural sites around the world. Now let's talk about mudras, which are special hand positions that can affect the flow of energy in our bodies. Mudras can have a powerful impact on our bodies, but just putting your hands together in a certain way isn't enough to get the benefits. To control your energy through mudras, follow these basic steps for an effective practice. First step, warm up your hands before starting any mudra practice. Rub your palms together until they feel warm. This simple action boosts blood flow and gets your hands ready, making the movements smoother and more effective. Second step, maintain proper posture. Sit comfortably, either in the lotus position or on a chair with your spine straight. Keeping your spine aligned allows energy to flow along your spinal column, which helps with both mudras and meditation. Third step, calm your breathing. Breathe deeply and rhythmically, preferably through your nose. Controlled breathing relaxes your body and mind, creating a state of calm essential for effective mudra practice. Focus on your breath, making it slower and deeper each time. Fourth step, avoid tension in your hands and keep your body relaxed. Mudra practice should be gentle. Any unnecessary tension can block the flow of energy. Ensure that your shoulders, neck, and jaw are relaxed. If needed, do some shoulder rotations to release tension. Fifth step, do not feel pain when performing the mudra. If you feel discomfort or pain, adjust the position of your fingers. The practice should be pleasant and effortless. Pain is a sign that something is not right, and continuing with it can cause injuries or prevent the benefits. Sixth step. The touches should be light but noticeable. You should feel a slight tingling between your fingers. This indicates that the energy is flowing correctly. The light touch helps maintain sensitivity and connection between the fingers, enhancing the effects of the practice. Seventh step. Maintain the mudras for at least 5 minutes and at most 30 minutes, with an ideal duration of 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the goal. This interval allows the benefits to manifest without causing fatigue. For beginners, starting with shorter periods and gradually increasing can be a good approach. Eighth step. Avoid performing mudras if you are in a bad mood or in an unbalanced state, except in emergencies. Your emotional state directly influences the effectiveness of the mudras. In emergencies, a calming mudra can help restore balance, but generally, it's better to practice when you're in a state of tranquility. Ninth step. Fully concentrate on your sensations during the practice. Keep your focus on the areas of your body where you feel the flow of energy. This concentration helps to intensify the effects of the mudras and develop greater body awareness. By following these steps, you can harness the full power of mudras to balance your energy and enhance your well-being. Follow these steps to get the most out of mudras and balance your body's energy. Mudras are hand gestures that can boost your physical, emotional, and spiritual health when done with care. Adding these practices to your daily life helps you find more balance and peace within yourself. Know where to place your hands for each mudra depending on which chakra or energy center you want to influence. For example, to help with heart issues, place the mudra near your solar plexus or heart chakra. There are many mudras, but it's best to start with the easiest and most effective ones. Mudras are also great for meditation. They can improve your focus and memory, make you smarter, help you sleep better, and even stimulate your pineal gland. Try touching the tips of your index finger and thumb together while meditating. The other 3 fingers can stay straight or relaxed. This simple move can bring big benefits to your mind and body. All right, let me tell you about some cool mudras and how they can help you. Earth mudra. Join the tips of your ring finger and thumb, keeping the other fingers straight. This mudra helps improve blood circulation, making you stronger and better at concentrating during meditation. It also strengthens weak bones and helps those who are malnourished to gain weight. By balancing the earth elements in your body, it brings a sense of stability and grounding. Practice this mudra every day in a calm and quiet place for the best results. Light mudra. Boost your energy by bending your ring finger and little finger to touch the tip of your thumb, while the middle and index fingers stay straight. This mudra strengthens your immune system, improves your vision, reduces tiredness, and gives you more vitality and mental strength. It's great for revitalizing your body and mind, making you feel more energetic and enthusiastic. Try it now. Pause for 5 minutes, hold this mudra, and let us know how you feel. To get the most out of this, do it daily, especially in the morning, to start your day with energy. Water mudra. This is essential for women as it benefits the skin and reduces signs of tiredness. Lightly touch the tip of your little finger with the tip of your thumb, keeping the other fingers straight. This mudra keeps your body hydrated, fights skin problems like dryness, infections, and acne, gives your face a natural glow, and relieves muscle pain and spasms. Practice this mudra every day, especially in dry weather or when you feel dehydrated, to maintain healthy and youthful skin. Air mudra. Bend your index finger and lightly press the second phalanx with your thumb, keeping the other fingers straight. This mudra is great for calming your body and mind, helping to relieve anxiety and stress. It reduces impatience and indecision during anxious moments. Practice it until you feel better, but don't overdo it. Use this mudra during emotional tension to restore inner peace and mental balance. Make it a part of your daily routine by practicing it during breaks or before bedtime to calm your mind. Sun Mudra. Bend your ring finger so the tip touches the base of your thumb, then gently press the bent ring finger with your thumb, keeping the other 3 fingers extended and relaxed. This mudra protects your heart, helps prevent heart issues like angina and heart attacks, and increases body heat and fat burning, making it great for weight loss. Practice this mudra regularly, but remember to consult a doctor for any heart problems. By incorporating these mudras into your daily life, you can enjoy their numerous benefits and enhance your overall well-being. Bringing these mudras into your daily routine can boost your physical and mental health in many ways. By practicing regularly, you can find balance and well-being, making your life better in a holistic way. But why do we often see mudras in Orthodox Christian icons? Mudras, or symbolic hand gestures, come from ancient Vedic knowledge. This explains why the blessing gesture with 2 fingers looks like the life mudra. Humans are complex bioenergetic systems, and our life and health depend directly on our energy potential. This includes the harmonious interaction between our physical and subtle bodies, as well as our energy centers known as chakras. Many think chakras are only an Eastern concept, but few know we have our own chakra system, adapted to our mindset. But what exactly are chakras? How is the chakra system structured? We've explored these questions in detail in our previous videos. For a deeper understanding, check out our channel's videos about chakras to learn more and expand your knowledge. Thank you so much for exploring the fascinating world of mudras with me. Your presence shows your commitment to self-awareness and living a more balanced life.
I remember distinctly a conversation I had with Dr. Lakatsky during the early time when he was, I think, assessing me. Is probably what they were doing. See if I'd be a good fit. And I remember him very distinctly. At the end of the conversation, he pulled his glasses down and he looked over his glasses at me and he said, "What do you think about UFOs?" And I paused for a moment and I responded truthfully. I said, "I don't." He said, do you not believe in them? And I said, "No, I didn't say that. You asked me if I thought about what do I think about UFOs, and I said I don't. I don't have the luxury to think about it. I'm too busy, trying to chase bad guys and make things work." And he said to me, he said, "Well, that's fair enough, but don't let your own personal bias get the best of you, because what you may learn here, may challenge any preconceived notions or narratives that you have." And that's really when I first learned what this program was about. We were getting multiple reports, we got a lot of reports of UAP, we call them UAP, vernacular UFOs, were being encountered over controlled U.S. airspace and theaters of combat, and were posing, in some cases, a flight safety risk for pilots. Now, what do I mean by that? So we have reports and videos, in some cases, of these UAP, UFOs, splitting combat formation. You know what a combat formation is? These aircraft fly very close to each other in a combat scenario, right? So look at this. You have a UAP splitting formation. That's problematic. Furthermore, we have countless reports of these things being encountered over controlled U.S. airspace or sensitive military facilities and installations, and we had no idea where they came from. The origin, we had no clue. Their performance characteristics were stunning. These were beyond next generation technology. These were things that could perform in ways that outperformed anything that we had in our inventory, and we were pretty sure outperformed anything that our adversaries had. We were getting these these routine pleas, these cries from the field. In fact, I remember one email very specifically where basically said, "Look, these things are all over the ship. I don't know what to tell you. I can't keep people below deck forever and keep this a secret. What do you want me to do? You know, we keep telling them, look, the cavalry's coming. We've got these plans in place to help you out. And every time we would want to get this brief up to a higher level, we were being stovepiped, and then we actually had if you will, a trap set up to collect information on these UAP. I can only talk about it because I've now had approval by the Pentagon to talk about it. It is now cleared for me to talk about it. But we had a plan to set up a real big nuclear footprint, something we knew was irresistible for these UAP. And then once we started seeing these UAP, we knew the trap would be sprung. Congress is being briefed fairly routinely by whistleblowers. Some of them have not been made public yet. New whistleblowers are ready to come out, provided they have the right legal protection. Oh, we were told by the people who had the material. I mean, it's kind of, when they sit there and say, yeah, look, you know, we're happy to have this conversation with you. There's some things that you're going to need to do if you want, you know, more access to it. But yeah, we're happy to give this stuff to you. That's a big deal. It's kind of what I say here. That's a whole caliber, right? But you could probably put some expletives in there if you wanted to. That's a seismic revelation. Then, of course, then you have the material science analysis that's been done on some of this material, which, you know, look, despite what some people say now, like, oh, this is a professional case from the 1950s. I know for a fact, because I had a member, and I'm not going to say which company, but let's just say one of the most elite aerospace corporations in the world do analysis on it. And I can tell you that what they came to a conclusion with, and after they actually was able to manufacture at a macro, very crude level, at over $1 million, and broke the machine in the process, we know conclusively this was not technology that was manufactured in the 1950s by some sort of Western company. Look, because you look at it temporally and say, well, maybe the Russians have that technology now. Okay, sure. Let's suspend reality and say they do. But they didn't in the late 1940s. And so that would be like walking into King Tut's tomb and, you know, Carter finding a fully assembled 747. I think it's pretty clear that when you first see Trump being asked about the topic, he said, yeah, I don't particularly believe it. But interestingly, the next time he was asked, he's like, hey, there's something there. There's something to it, right? There were some very peculiar incidents that occurred simultaneously while I was involved in the ATIP portfolio. And I'll tell you, it wasn't just me. A lot of the folks in ATIP experienced very similar things. It was witnessed by friends, neighbors. What the connection is, I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But we experienced, my family, my kids, my wife, saw these green little balls of light, luminous balls of light. Think of a volleyball, but without hard edges, right? Floating through the house. You can call them orb, I guess. You can call them, maybe a sort of drone or a great vehicle in there, so you like it. But I guess you could describe it like the fuse. Just hover right down the hall. What, if any, the connection is to reporting it? You're going to be transparent. You got to be as transparent as you can to include even in your own life, and even if it makes you look kind of crazy. That's what happened. If it's just me, maybe I wouldn't have written about it. But the fact that it happened to other colleagues of mine that were in ATIP, I wanted to share that experience. And again, is there a congruency? Is there a relationship between the two? I don't know. Some people speculate that there is. Maybe it's a small reconnaissance drone, a UAP that's, you know, they're interested in our weapon systems. Well, they're obviously interested maybe in the people who are looking into them. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much because I simply don't have enough information or data. I have my opinion, but at the end of the day, my opinion doesn't really matter. If it was just me that saw these things, I probably, again, wouldn't have said anything. But the fact is, my whole family saw them. And other members in ATIP experienced this same thing as well. So what the relationship is, I absolutely could not tell you, but it was very perplexing.
I'm about to tell you is straight out of the files of the unexplained. A tale so wild, so buried in secrecy, that you won't believe it came from the deserts of Afghanistan. This isn't some campfire story. This is something that allegedly went down with U.S. Special Forces in the Kandahar region during the height of the war. We're talking about an encounter with something not just out of this world, but possibly out of this time. A creature so fearsome that it sounds like it stepped right out of the pages of the Bible or ancient mythology. This, my friends, is the legend of the Kandahar Giant. Let's set the stage. It's 2002 Afghanistan. The U.S. military is entrenched in one of the most challenging combat environments in modern history. Special forces teams are conducting operations in remote, rugged terrain, places that haven't been touched by modern civilization in centuries, maybe even millennia. These are the types of places where the past feels like it's still alive, where ancient myths could still be roaming the earth. According to the story, one of these elite teams went missing during a routine patrol in the mountains of Kandahar. We're talking about some of the most highly trained soldiers in the world just vanishing without a trace. Naturally, a second team was dispatched to find them, but what they encountered was something out of a nightmare. The rescue team allegedly came upon a cave, and outside that cave were the remnants of the missing soldiers' gear, busted radios, torn uniforms, the whole 9 yards. It was as if they had been ambushed by something far beyond human, and that's when it happened. The giant appeared. The creature, as described by those who claim to have knowledge of the incident, was a towering 12 to 15 feet tall, with long, red hair and a beard. It had 6 fingers on each hand, and its eyes were said to glow with a strange, unsettling light. This wasn't just some tall tale. These soldiers opened fire on the giant, reportedly emptying magazine after magazine into the beast. But here's the kicker. It didn't go down easily. According to the accounts, the giant fought back, taking down one soldier with a single spear throw before finally succumbing to the gunfire. Now, why is this important? Because this creature doesn't just sound like a freak of nature. It sounds like something straight out of ancient texts. Many believe that what these soldiers encountered was a Nephilim, one of the giants mentioned in the Bible. The Nephilim are said to be the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a race of giants who roamed the earth before the Great Flood. They were mighty, fearsome beings, often described as the enemies of humanity. If this sounds far-fetched, remember that legends of giants exist in cultures all over the world, from the Anakim of the Bible to the giants of Norse mythology. Could it be that these weren't just stories, but actual beings that lived, and maybe still live, on Earth? Could this Kandahar giant be a remnant of a forgotten era? A creature that survived in the remote, unexplored corners of the world? The implications. You might be thinking, so what if there's a giant in Afghanistan? What does that have to do with us? Well, folks, it has everything to do with us. If this story is true, and I'll leave that up to you to decide, then it changes everything we think we know about history, biology, and even our place in the universe. It suggests that there are creatures out there that defy explanation, beings that have been hiding from us or perhaps being hidden from us for centuries. And that leads us to a much darker question. Why is this being covered up? Why has this story, if true, been buried so deep that it only surfaces in the whispers of those who dare to speak about it? What else is out there that we're not being told about? We're talking about a cover-up so deep, so tangled, that it stretches across the highest levels of government and military intelligence. This isn't just a story of a monster in the mountains. This is a story of secrets, lies, and the manipulation of truth. First, let's talk about the military. You'd think that an encounter with a 12, 15-foot tall giant would be something that would make headlines, right? Wrong. According to those who have spoken out, the entire operation was classified immediately after the encounter. The soldiers involved were sworn to secrecy, and any evidence, bodies, gear, even the remains of the fallen giant, was whisked away to who knows where, never to be seen again. But why? Why would the military go to such lengths to cover this up? The answer lies in the potential implications. Imagine if the public found out that not only are there creatures out there that defy everything we know about biology and history, but that these creatures have been living among us, hiding in the remote corners of the world. It would cause widespread panic, and it would raise a million questions that the government isn't prepared to answer. We're talking about the possibility that these giants are remnants of a race that predates recorded history, a race mentioned in ancient texts and myths from cultures around the world. If this information got out, it wouldn't just shake people's faith in the government, it would shake their faith in everything they thought they knew about the world. And here's where it gets even darker. There are rumors, whispers really, that the US military isn't just trying to hide the existence of these giants, they're actively studying them. We're talking about black ops projects that make Area 51 look like Disneyland. These classified projects are said to involve everything from genetic testing to attempts to weaponize the DNA of these giants. Now, I know this sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but think about it. If the military could harness the strength, the endurance, the sheer power of these giants, they'd have a weapon unlike anything the world has ever seen. And don't think for a second that they wouldn't try it. This is the same military that has experimented with everything from mind control to psychic warfare. Why wouldn't they try to weaponize a giant? But it's not just the military that's involved in this cover-up. The media plays a crucial role in controlling the narrative. Or, more accurately, in making sure there isn't a narrative at all. Ever notice how stories about the Kandahar giant or anything remotely similar get buried, discredited, or labeled as conspiracy theories? That's not by accident, folks. That's a deliberate attempt to keep the public in the dark. The media is complicit in this cover-up, either because they've been coerced or because they've been paid off. Either way, the result is the same. The truth gets buried, and we're left with a sanitized version of reality where giants and other anomalies don't exist. But if you dig deep enough, if you look past the headlines and the official statements, you'll find a trail of breadcrumbs that leads straight to the truth. So why does this matter? Why should we care if the military is hiding the existence of giants in Afghanistan? Because if they're hiding this, what else are they hiding? This isn't just about one encounter. It's about a pattern of deception that goes all the way to the top. It's about the fact that our government, our military, and our media are working together to keep us in the dark, to keep us complacent, and to keep us from asking the tough questions. Now, it's time to tackle the most critical part of this whole saga. What does it all mean? What are the implications of a world where giants, beings straight out of ancient mythology, are not just real, but actively hidden from us by those in power? In this final part, we're going to explore how the existence of the Kandahar giant challenges everything we think we know about history, science, and our place in the world. If the Kandahar giant is real, then we have to ask ourselves, what else from our ancient texts and myths might also be real? The Bible, the Quran, Greek mythology, Norse sagas. Nearly every ancient culture has stories of giants, beings of immense size and strength who once roamed the earth. These weren't just fairy tales. They were accounts passed down through generations, describing encounters with creatures that defied explanation. For centuries, mainstream historians and scientists have dismissed these stories as myths or exaggerations. But what if they were wrong? The existence of the Kandahar giant suggests that these ancient texts might be more than just stories. They could be records of real events, real beings that existed alongside early humans. If that's the case, then our entire understanding of history needs to be reevaluated. We're not just talking about a few footnotes in history books. We're talking about rewriting the entire narrative of human civilization.
Man-made dance productions walks alone. Follows Christ and the path he's shown. In the night where shadows glow, battles demons, flesh and bone.
Recently, I had the good fortune to be able to investigate some of what the Nazis were looking for in their quest to unlock the secrets of the occult in their attempt to harness its power. For the past 2 decades, I have been engaged in genealogical research, tracing the history of my family, who were residents of Lanarkshire, Scotland, before relocating to the Irish province of Ulster in the 17th century, and looking through the records of the Scottish district where my family once lived. And by the way of casual conversation with certain denizens of that region, I learned the remarkable story of how, at a pivotal moment during World War II, one of the highest-ranking Nazi officials seemingly defected from Germany by flying solo in the dark of the night to Scotland. Having run out of fuel, he was forced to bail out of his plane before reaching his intended destination, a private landing strip at Dungerville House. There he proposed to meet with the Duke of Hamilton, allegedly to discuss a secret peace treaty with Great Britain. Rudolf Hess parachuted from his Messerschmitt fighter around 11 p.m. over Renfrewshire, Scotland, touching down at Floor's Farm near Eaglesham, south of Glasgow, about 10 miles or so from Hamilton's estate in southern Lanarkshire. Breaking his ankle on impact, Hess was apprehended by David McLean, a local farmer armed with a pitchfork who had seen the plane go down and took its only occupant by surprise while he was struggling to disengage his parachute harness. As if these events were not already incredible enough, I was later told in a hushed conversation over a pint at the local pub that the legend of Rudolf Hess's mission was not the whole story. There was far more to the extraordinary affair, though the informant who revealed this to me was somewhat reluctant to go into the details about the specific nature of Hess's business with the Duke. As the rainy autumn afternoon went on, however, my companion and Mr. Patterson began to gather his confidence. Having partaken of more than a wee dram of single malt stock, he quietly told me that Hess had not come to the bargaining table empty-handed. It seems that the former deputy Führer had brought with him what amounted to a national treasure in hopes of sweetening the deal. Listening intently as he spun a jar, I learned that the supposed treasure was actually a book. No ordinary book, mind you, but a very old book. It was, as it turned out, a manuscript of ancient Gaelic mystical lore. I only got a weak glance at it, Patterson admitted, but it was right clear, like a book of spells of some sort. At first, I gave little credit to what the old gentleman was saying, but as his story progressed, the details he revealed made the tale more and more convincing. Intrigued by his account, I began searching through old newspaper reports and on the internet for more information about the mysterious volume Hess had turned over to British officials. But nowhere in any of the articles that I came across was there the least mention of the supposedly ancient documents. Ultimately, I decided that I had simply been on the receiving end of what was most likely a cock and bull story. Yet for some reason, I could not quite brush it off that easily. Okay, I will continue. Since I have the most of this written out for education, this gives me time to copy it here. Several months later, having returned to the States, my work was taken into the While traveling, I had stopped for lunch at a small diner near the town of Aliceville, Alabama. Sitting down in a booth near the window, I opened my briefcase and began looking over copies of the material I had collected on the Hess affair while the waitress went to the back to bring me my meal. When she returned, I moved the papers to one side of the table, making room for the tray. Curious about the photocopies I had been reading, the waitress looked at them for a moment and asked if I was researching the German POW camp that had been located in Aliceville during the Second World War. I told her no, that I was actually trying to figure out what had happened to a book that Rudolf Hess had supposedly brought with him when he had flown to Scotland back in 1941. The waitress, whose name was Mary, smiled and said, "I was just a teenager then, but I remember hearing about the Germans flying over there, now that you mention it." Surprised, I asked her if she could remember anything about Hess having turned over a manuscript of some sort to the British. She replied, "No, I don't know anything about that, but my sister Evelyn might be able to tell you more than I can. She married one of those German fellows that was brought over here during the war." I told the waitress that I would enjoy meeting her sister and talking with her, to which he cheerfully responded, "Well, you just come on back here around 6 o'clock and I will take you out to see her." I thanked her, and after finishing my lunch, I told her that I would be back later to go and visit with her sister. When we arrived at Evelyn's home that evening, Mary introduced me to her sister and told her the reason for my visit. The elderly lady looked at me for a moment and asked her to sit down. After exchanging pleasantries, she showed me an old photograph of her husband that hung on her living room wall. Told me that his name was Henry and that they had been married for 42 years until his death in 1991. He was a German intelligence officer, she said, one of the finest men you could have ever met. I asked her what he did after the war and was told that he was a schoolteacher. He could speak about 7 different languages, she said. He was a brilliant man. When I asked her if she had ever heard anything about the book Rudolf Hess had turned over to the British, her expression changed a bit as she lowered her brows and said in a serious tone, "Young man, how did you come to know about that?" I related to her the story of how Mr. Patterson had told me about it during my recent trip to Scotland, and that I was quite intrigued over his tale and wanted to find out if there was any truth to it. "There is," Evelyn said, "but I am not so sure it's something that you ought to go digging up." Not wishing to offend her, I said, "You're probably right. I was just curious about it." She smiled and said, "Some things are just better left alone." I nodded and thanked her for telling me what she had, making my way back home after giving her one of my business cards and bidding the ladies good night. When I arrived home, there was a message on my answering machine. It was Evelyn. "Mr. Atkins, I'm going to be sending you something in the mail this week. Keep an eye out for it." Surprised to hear from her so soon after my visit, I waited anxiously for the next few days to see what she was sending. The package finally arrived on Thursday afternoon. I opened the large yellow envelope and pulled out a stack with several dozen photocopies of a typewritten text in refuted German. There was no note with it, only the Xerox copies. Unable to read German, I flipped through them disappointedly until I noticed the heading, which read, "Abschrift from Istren, Drudenbuck." Drudenbuck. Druidsbuck. I puzzled over the title. Was this in some way related to the manuscript Hess had been carrying? Immediately, I picked up the phone and called Evelyn back. "I have the papers that you sent me," I told her. "But what exactly are they?" I asked. She told me that the copies she sent were of a text that her husband, along with a team of other researchers, had been given orders to translate from its original language into German. The copies came from a transcription of the manuscript, which he kept in a personal journal that he was somehow able to retain throughout his capture and confinement, keeping it after his subsequent release. Evelyn said that even after their marriage, her husband continued to work on the text, staying up late into the night, typing it all out. He told her that the translation was of an ancient religious tract predating Christianity. In a later telephone conversation, Evelyn revealed that her husband Henry was interested in being of assistance in efforts to negotiate Rudolf Hess's release from prison following the parole of Albert Speer and Baldur von Schirach in 1966. I was stunned. What I held in my hand was apparently a copy of what must be one of the oldest and rarest works of European pagan religious literature ever discovered. But why all the secrecy, I wondered? That same day, I went out and bought a copy of a German-English dictionary and sat down, trying to decipher what seemed like an insurmountable volume of foreign gibberish. Gradually, though, the meaning of the word that lay before me became apparent as I carefully cross-referenced each one individually and arranged the result into a coherent order. In the end, I could scarcely believe the enormous significance of the document which had fallen into my possession. It was almost like finding the Holy Grail. Aside from Henry's translation of this ancient text, he also provided copious notes detailing how the book had passed from one owner to the next over the centuries. Attributed to the 8th century BC, Irish king Ollam Fodla, who, being the recipient of a vast dispensation of esoteric knowledge through a messenger of the ancient Celtic pagan deities, recording the teachings that had been imparted to him in Ogham text on a set of wooden tablets, which he later instructed his son, Khyber, to enter alongside his body at the time of his death. These same Ogham tablets were later supposedly discovered and translated in the 4th century AD by the Druid Magru as the Liber Facilunda, a text which had been preserved in manuscript form, carefully transcribed along with other scriptures of monks of the early Christian church in Ireland as a treatise on the magical arts, known as the Black Book of Loughcre. This would seem to contradict the commonly held misconception that the Druids forbid their teachings to be committed to writing, but also generally attributed to a statement made by Julius Caesar in his Gallic Wars. In this, Caesar relates that students of the Druidic schools were expected to commit to memory a great number of verses in their course of training, which lasted up to 20 years. Ancient Irish sources, such as the Yellow Book of Lacan, clearly state that prior to the Christian era, a vast amount of Druidic writings once existed, such as the 180 Druidic texts burned by King Patrick during his career as a missionary to Ireland. Fortunately, the later monks who followed in Patrick's way were not as fervently opposed, and many sources preserve the originating in the pagan past. Early on, the Book of Loughcre was apparently among the texts brought to England by Hiberno-Scottish missionaries from Ireland when they re-established a monastery amid the ruins of Glastonbury Abbey. By the first half of the 10th century AD, the book had evidently come into the possession of Dunstan, abbot of Glastonbury, who was later appointed Archbishop of Canterbury and was formally canonized as a saint in 1029 AD, despite the fact that earlier in his career he had been expelled from the court of King Alistair as a practitioner of sorcery and black magic. In the decades that followed, the text of the Liber Facilunda may have circulated among the Knights Templar, who could have easily adapted its rituals under the guise of a pseudo-biblical attribution to conceal its pagan origin, perhaps inspiring medieval works on magic, such as the Key of Solomon. Legends alluding to the Templars' quest for relic, such as the Holy Grail, hint at parallels drawn from Celtic mythology, in which sacred vessels possessing miraculous attributes feature prominently. Among the allegations brought against the Templars that led to the destruction of their order in the early 1300s were accusations of their involvement with occult rites and the practice of magic, although rumors suggest that a surviving band of Templars, led by William Sinclair, escaped persecution by fleeing to Scotland. There, under the protection of the excommunicated King Robert the Bruce, their order is said to have continued in secrecy, supposedly leading to the formation of the Fraternal Order of Freemasons. By the 13th century AD, the Black Book of Loughcre had purportedly fallen into the hands of Michael Scott, the famed Scottish occultist whose reputation as a sorcerer had earned him the nickname the Wizard of the North. Scott, who was born in 1175 AD, had studied at Durham and Oxford before going abroad to further his education in Paris, where he studied theology and was eventually ordained as a priest. Pope Honorius III, said to be the practitioner of the dark arts and attributed as the author of more than one book on black magic, had written to Cardinal Langley, the Archbishop of Canterbury, in 1224 for the purpose of obtaining an English benefice for Scott, but he declined that appointment, choosing instead to travel to Bologna, Italy, and later to Toledo, Spain, in order to continue his studies. Following Scott's death in 1242, the book containing the only surviving copy of the Liber Facilunda was evidently acquired by the transition friar Roger Bacon, whose scholarly interest in the occult accounts for the authorship of at least one medieval textbook on magic, the Necromantia, being attributed to him. With Bacon's death in 1294, the Black Book of Loughcre changed hands several times, allegedly finding its way into the possession of such noteworthy personages as Henry Cornelius Agrippa and George Sable, Elias, Johannes Faustus, before ending up in the library of a practicing physician and Catholic priest named Sir Robert of Drayton in Somerset, England. Sir Robert apparently bequeathed the book to his former apprentice, John Walsh of Dorset, who was arrested in 1565 and examined the following year on charges of sorcery and witchcraft. The book was confiscated by the arresting constable, Roger Babber of Crewker, and eventually found its way into the possession of one John Hussey of Blockley, who later passed it on to a certain acquaintance of his by the name of Edward Talbot, alias Edward Kelly. From there, the book fell into the hands of the famed Elizabethan mages, Dr. John Dee, who employed Kelly as a crystal gazer and medium. Dee's experiments with the occult seem to have been partly influenced by its teachings. It is unclear beyond this point as to what became of the book, as Dee and Kelly were abroad to Europe for several years, seeking the patronage of continental nobility. But in 1589, Dee went back to England, leaving Kelly behind. When Dee returned to his estate at Mortlake after an absence of 6 years, he found that his considerable library had been ransacked, and many of his rare books and instruments had been stolen. Kelly, who had taken up residence in the Bohemian town of Trabant, remained in Central Europe under the patronage of Count Wilhelm Rosenberg, who supported Kelly's alchemical experiments. Achieving considerable notoriety, Kelly was even honored by Emperor Rudolph II, who granted him the title of Baron of the Kingdom. But Kelly's rise to eminence was short-lived, and he was arrested and imprisoned on more than one occasion due to his failed experiments in creating gold. Kelly died in 1597 at the age of 42, allegedly succumbing to injuries received while attempting to escape from a tower in which Rudolph held him prisoner. The manuscript containing the Liber Fissurunda eventually resurfaced for a brief time in the 18th century when it was said to have circulated as a literary curiosity among such notable personages as Giuseppe Balsamo, aka Count Alessandro di Cagliostro, Adam Weishaupt, founder of the Bavarian Illuminati, and Sir Francis Dashwood, a friend of his and organizer of London's infamous Hellfire Club. At some point in the late 19th century, the Black Book of Lothar passed between the hands of Austrian mystic Guido von List and Karl Neller, a wealthy German industrialist and Freemason who, together with Theodor Roos, went on to found a secret society known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO, prior to his death in 1905. From that point, the book came into the possession of Rudolf Franz of Bockendorf, a member of the List-inspired secret society known as the German Order, who in collaboration with Walter Neuhaus founded an occult study group called the Fuel Gesellschaft. The disciple of his esoteric organization saw evidence for an Atlantean origin of the Aryan race in the lore contained within the Liber Fissurunda, specifically in the legends relating to the ancient gods of the pagan Celts having come from a mysterious island in the North Atlantic, bringing with them the 4 hallowed treasures. The fact that the Liber Fissurunda apparently corroborated with the full doctrine of Aryan racial origins led to Reichsfuhrer Heinrich Himmler ordering its seizure by the SS following Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Nazi ideology sought to equate the legendary Celtic treasures with long-lost relics of antiquity, such as the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny, and the Stone of Scone, all of which were earmarked by Himmler for an official scavenger hunt carried out by the SS. The ancient manuscript even inspired neo-pagan Nazi rituals, such as the one in which a huge Celtic-style cauldron, fashioned from 24 pounds of solid gold, was cast into the Bavarian lake of Chiemsee as an offering during a ceremony performed to secure Nazi victory through propitiating the ancestral gods. The fabled Black Book of Lothar was inexplicably returned to Britain by Rudolf Hess under mysterious circumstances on May 10th, 1941, eventually ending up in the hands of the occult division of Britain's MI5 intelligence service. Hess, a longtime member of the Fuel Gesellschaft, had flown to Scotland and parachuted from his plane, ostensibly under the pretext of meeting the Duke of Hamilton with the intention of negotiating a secret peace treaty that would ensure German dominance in Europe and a reinforcement of the British Empire among its Commonwealth states. This escapade occurred not long after a covert military assignment, codenamed Operation Mistletoe, was said to have been carried out within the ranks of British intelligence in 1940. This plot allegedly involved mysterious occult rituals taking place at Ashdown Forest in Sussex, England, purportedly attended by such notable figures as Ian Fleming and Aleister Crowley, who, by 1923, had succeeded Theodor Roos as head of the Ordo Templi Orientis. Interestingly, 2 German SS officers, designated as Kestrel and Sea Eagle, were also supposedly present at these ceremonies. Whatever the case may be, the book that Rudolf Hess brought with him to Scotland has remained in the hands of the British government ever since. Hess was taken into custody shortly after his descent into Scotland, and briefly detained at Maryhill Barracks in Glasgow before being transferred to Buchanan Castle near Drymen. From there, he was sent by rail to England at the insistence of Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who rejected Hess's peace negotiations and had him placed in the Tower of London from May the 17th to May the 21st, 1941, the last prisoner ever to be held there. Hess spent the next 13 months under close guard at Leadership Place, Camp Z, near Aldershot in Surrey, England. While there, he reportedly attempted to take his own life by throwing himself off a balcony on June 15, 1941. On June 26, 1942, Hess was sent to Mainduf Court Hospital near Aberfenny, Wales, where he was confined for the remainder of the war. Among the individuals brought in to interrogate him was Naval Intelligence Officer Ian Fleming, who suggested that noted occultist Aleister Crowley be allowed to interview Hess regarding the more esoteric aspects of his mission. The higher-ranking officials in charge of the case would not permit it, however. Within a few days after his arrival in Scotland, Hitler's Vice Minister, Joseph Goebbels, issued an order against occultism, clairvoyancy, etc. On May 15, 1941, writing in his diary, "This obscure rubbish will now be eliminated once and for all. The miracle men, Hess's darlings, will now be put under lock and key." Interestingly, Winston Churchill, the main proponent for Britain continuing the war against Germany, was himself a member of more than one esoteric fraternity, having been initiated to the Freemasons in the degree of entered apprentice at London's Stockholm Lodge in 1901. He later advanced through the Fellowcraft degree to the rank of Master Mason in March 1902 at Rosemary Lodge. By August 1908, Churchill had been initiated in the Albion Lodge of the Ancient Order of Druids in a ceremony which took place at Blenheim Palace, his family estate. According to physicians assigned to evaluate his mental condition, Hess reported with Churchill that his flight came about as a result of having received spiritual messages from the gods, revealing that he was beginning to bring back a new era of old age. Diagnosed as being mentally unstable, having a psychopathic personality, and suffering from historical amnesia, Hess was spared the death penalty in his post-war trial at Nuremberg, receiving a life sentence and confined at Spandau Prison. There he would remain for the next 41 years until his death in 1987 at the age of 93. The prison's sole inmate. The contents of the Black Book of Gloucester was photographed by the SS in the years prior to his return, and based on this system, which was later recovered by U.S. troops in the summer of 1945, following the fall of the Third Reich. This microfilm copy was turned over to the U.S. Office of Strategic Services and is currently in the possession of the Central Intelligence Agency. The material was confiscated by British military intelligence shortly after his arrival in Scotland in May 1941 were kept in a sealed file, which was supposed to remain unopened until 2017. But when that seal was broken in 1991/1992, it was found that the contents of the file had already been removed and were missing. Given the seemingly incredible history of this single volume of Celtic mystical literature, it is remarkable that it survived at all. The Liber Fisarunda, or Book of Secret Knowledge, may be counted among a very select group of religious documents which claim to have been divinely revealed to humanity through supernatural.
Have your dreams become more vivid, filled with symbols of light and transformation? Who are you truly, beyond the facade of daily routine? As Earth's energy shifts from the third dimension to the fifth, profound transformations unfold around you. This shift is not just physical, but a deep spiritual evolution, urging you to recognize your essence beyond external identities. The first reason why you are no longer just human is the profound energy shift and dimensional changes occurring within and around you. Dimensions are not mere physical realms, but states of consciousness. The third dimension, where you have spent your life going through the murky waters of selfishness, separation, competition, and duality, is dissolving like a sandcastle before the tide. You are stepping into the radiant embrace of the fifth dimension, a realm suffused with love, compassion, unity, and brotherhood. This shift manifests in the seemingly mundane moments that now pulse with deeper significance. When you feel an inexplicable urge to help a stranger, you are not just acting on a whim, but responding to the rising frequency of Earth's grid. When a fleeting thought of gratitude fills your heart with warmth, it is the resonance of the fifth dimension calling you to recognize your interconnectedness with all life. The increase in Earth's grid frequency is not a random cosmic event, but a deliberate call to transformation for those destined to lead this transition. You are no longer just a bystander. You are a beacon of light in the midst of darkness. This heightened energy demands that you shed the old skin of ego and separation, revealing the luminous essence of your true self. Every choice you make now ripples through the fabric of existence, amplifying the energy of unity and love. As the world around you shifts, so must you. You are chosen to bridge the chasm between dimensions, to guide humanity from the shadows of the third dimension into the brilliance of the fifth. This transformation is not just an external shift, but an awakening of your deepest, most authentic self. The second reason why you are no longer just human is the awakening of your true identity. Names, job titles, places of origin, these are mere shadows cast by the brilliant light of your true self. You have been conditioned to cling to these labels, believing they define you. Yet in the midst of this profound shift, you are beginning to see through the veil of illusion. You are not the roles you play. You are the boundless consciousness that animates them. In the quiet moments of your day, when the noise of the world fades, you sense the stirring of something vast and eternal within you. This is your true identity, whispering through the cracks of your constructed persona. It's in the silent acknowledgement of your presence when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. Not as a physical being, but as a soul journeying through the realms of existence. The concept of dual awareness dawns upon you. There is the self that experiences, the one who feels joy, sorrow, love, and fear. And then there is the self that observes, the eternal witness, unchanging and pure, watching the drama of life unfold. You become acutely aware of this duality in everyday situations. When you engage in a heated argument, a part of you remains detached, observing the unfolding emotions with serene clarity. When you achieve a milestone at work, the observer within you acknowledges the fleeting nature of success and remains centered in the deeper truth of your being. This dual awareness is your compass, guiding you through the storm of transformation. It anchors you in the truth of who you are, beyond the transient identities imposed upon you. As you awaken to your true self, you transcend the limitations of mere human existence, stepping into the infinite expanse of your spiritual essence. The third reason why you are no longer just human is your connection to higher realms. This connection transforms you from a mere mortal into a conduit of divine wisdom and energy. As you face your daily life, these higher realms whisper their secrets, inviting you to explore dimensions beyond the physical. In your moments of lucid dreaming, you soar through landscapes that defy earthly logic, touching the fringes of otherworldly beauty and wisdom. Each night, as you lay your head to rest, you are not just escaping into dreams. You are traveling the astral planes, where the boundaries of your human experience dissolve, and you commune with beings of light and energy. Spiritual practices like astral projection pull back the curtain of reality, revealing the vast cosmic stage on which your soul dances. As you learn to project your consciousness beyond your physical body, you encounter realms teeming with ethereal guides and mentors. These spiritual entities, unseen by the naked eye, impart wisdom that transcends time and space, nurturing your evolution. You feel this connection during your waking hours as well. In moments of deep meditation, you become a vessel for higher vibrations, your mind opening like a lotus to the light of the cosmos. The guidance of spiritual mentors, whether through direct interaction or intuitive insight, becomes a beacon illuminating your path. You find yourself drawn to their wisdom, feeling a resonance that goes beyond intellectual understanding. This connection to higher realms permeates your daily existence. When faced with challenges, you are not alone. The wisdom of the higher dimensions flows through you, offering solutions that defy conventional logic. When you experience moments of profound clarity or intuition, it is the voice of the higher realms speaking through you, guiding you towards your true purpose. You are no longer just human because you are an emissary of the divine, bridging the gap between the earthly and the celestial. Your connection to these higher realms is a testament to your evolving consciousness, urging you to take your role as a harbinger of spiritual transformation. The fourth reason why you are no longer just human is the clarity and focus you now possess in living a purposeful life. You have transcended the mundane, and every moment pulses with meaning. Every action directed by an unseen compass guiding you toward your higher purpose. In the quiet moments of your day, when you sip your morning coffee or take a solitary walk, you feel a profound sense of direction. Your passions and strengths are not mere hobbies or talents. They are the threads of your destiny. You are no longer drifting aimlessly, but are driven by an inner fire, a deep knowing that your existence holds immense significance. Your daily life transforms into a series of intentional actions. Setting meaningful goals becomes second nature, as natural as breathing. Each goal is a beacon, illuminating the path ahead. Whether it's the choice to pursue a career that resonates with your soul, the decision to nurture relationships that uplift you, or the commitment to practices that nourish your spirit, every choice is a step closer to fulfilling your higher purpose. You align your daily actions with this purpose, infusing each moment with intention. When you engage in work that excites you, you are not merely earning a living, you are contributing to the greater good, each task a sacred act of creation. When you dedicate time to your passions, you feel the universe aligning with you, every effort amplified by cosmic energy. In interactions with others, you become a catalyst for change. Your presence inspires, your words uplift, and your actions create ripples of transformation. You are no longer confined by the limitations of human identity. You are a force of nature, channeling the divine purpose through your every move. You are living proof that aligning with your higher purpose transcends the ordinary, elevating your life to a symphony of meaningful endeavors. You are not just human, you are a vessel of purpose, facing the world with the clarity and focus of a soul awakened to its true calling. The fifth reason why you are no longer just human is your enhanced ability to manifest your desires into reality. Your thoughts are not mere fleeting whims. They are powerful forces that shape the very fabric of existence. You wield this power with the precision of a sculptor, molding the world around you to reflect your innermost dreams and desires. You harness this ability through the practice of visualization. Each morning as you rise, you close your eyes and see with the clarity of a prophet the life you wish to create. Your visions are not daydreams but blueprints, each detail a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. When you visualize success, love, or peace, you are not hoping for these things. You are commanding the universe to bring them into being. You reinforce these visions with affirmations, speaking your desires into existence with unwavering conviction. Each affirmation is a decree, a binding contract with the cosmos. As you declare your intentions, you feel the universe align with your words, responding to your call with a symphony of synchronicities. When you say, "I am abundant," you feel wealth flow into your life in unexpected ways. When you affirm, "I am loved," you attract relationships that nourish your soul. Aligning your intentions with universal laws, you become a master of manifestation. You understand that your desires must resonate with the greater harmony of the cosmos. Each intention is set with the purity of purpose, ensuring that what you seek serves not only your growth, but the well-being of all. This alignment magnifies your power, turning your thoughts into tangible reality with astonishing speed. You experience the magic of manifestation in everyday moments. When you need guidance, a mentor appears. When you seek opportunities, doors open effortlessly. Your life becomes a dance of creation, each step a testament to your divine ability to shape reality. You are no longer just human. You are a creator, a force of nature wielding the power of manifestation with the grace of a seasoned magician. Your ability to turn thought into reality elevates you, transforming your existence into a masterpiece of intentional living. The sixth reason why you are no longer just human is your ongoing spiritual evolution, marked by the transformation from a carbon-based to a crystalline-based body. This shift is not merely biological, but deeply spiritual, symbolizing your ascension to a higher state of existence. In your daily life, you feel this evolution in the subtle lightness of your being. Your body, once dense and grounded in the physical, now shimmers with a crystalline clarity. You are becoming lighter, more agile, your very essence transforming into a conductor of pure light energy. As you move through your day, you notice the ease with which you navigate the world. You are not burdened by the heaviness of the past, but uplifted by the radiant potential of your crystalline form. Your new crystalline structure allows you to channel higher frequencies of light and energy. When you meditate, you become a prism, refracting divine light into a spectrum of healing and enlightenment. You sense this when you close your eyes and feel the vibrant pulse of energy coursing through you, connecting you to the cosmos. Your thoughts are clearer, your emotions more harmonious, as the crystalline form purifies and amplifies your spiritual energy. This transformation also enhances your connection to others and the world around you. You resonate at a higher frequency, attracting those who are on a similar path of spiritual evolution. In your interactions, you notice a profound depth of understanding and empathy, as your crystalline body allows you to perceive and transmit emotions and thoughts with greater clarity. Every day, as you align more with this crystalline nature, you become a beacon of light, illuminating the path for others. Your presence itself is transformative, a living testament to the power of spiritual evolution. You are not just human, you are a radiant crystalline being, embodying the light of higher realms and leading humanity toward its highest potential. You feel it deeply, the physical and spiritual transformation reshaping your very essence. This metamorphosis manifests in ways that are both mysterious and profound as you become attuned to the higher frequencies of existence. Extreme tiredness and fatigue envelop you, pulling you into a cocoon of rest and renewal. This is your body's call to conserve energy for the profound changes underway. Take these moments of stillness. They are necessary for your transformation. To manage this, prioritize rest, stay hydrated, and nourish yourself with wholesome foods. Emotional fluctuations surge like tempestuous waves, cleansing your cycle. One moment you are enveloped in joy, the next you are shadowed by sorrow. This emotional cleansing is a vital process, purging old energies and making space for the new. Accept these swings as part of your growth, allowing each emotion to flow through you without resistance. Ringing in the ears becomes a constant companion, a sign of your pineal gland's activation. This sacred gland, your third eye, is opening to higher realms of perception, enhancing your intuitive and psychic abilities. When you hear these tones, pause and tune into the subtler frequencies of your environment. Visual phenomena begin to unfold before your eyes. Colors seem more vibrant, and you may catch fleeting glimpses of light or shadow. This heightened sensory sensitivity signifies the awakening of your clairvoyant abilities. Allow your vision to expand, embracing these new perceptions. Your diet shifts toward high-vibration foods, fresh fruits, vegetables, and natural ingredients that resonate with your evolving energy. Digestive issues arise as your body detoxifies, expelling lower frequencies. Embrace this process with patience, adjusting your diet to support your body's needs. Mental fog descends, making concentration difficult. Your brain is adjusting to higher frequencies, rewiring itself for enhanced cognitive function. Give yourself grace, incorporating mindfulness practices to handle this transition. Enhanced intuition and psychic abilities blossom within you. Your emotional sensitivity sharpens, guiding you with an inner knowing that transcends logic. Trust these new faculties as they lead you to deeper truths. Sleep patterns change dramatically, with you waking at specific times as energy anchors within you. These nocturnal awakenings are not disturbances, but sacred moments of alignment with cosmic rhythms. Honor these times with meditation or quiet reflection. You are not just undergoing change, You are becoming a luminous, multifaceted being, intricately connected to the universe's grand symphony. You are awakening to a profound truth. Your inner awareness transcends the external circumstances of your life. This underlying awareness is the silent observer within, untouched by past events or mistakes. It is the constant amidst the chaos, the unchanging presence that watches the drama of your life unfold. Transcending external circumstances begins with recognizing this awareness. The labels and narratives that society imposes on you are mere illusions. Beneath them lies a boundless consciousness that remains pure and untainted. When you face challenges,
tinfoil hat.
Oh,
Again, before we get into it, how did you get into all this?
honestly, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. I went to a school in Florida. It was very denominationally focused, and I've never been something that's an absolutist. I don't go like, oh, you're full-on conservative, you're full-on liberal. I've always been a militant centrist. I cannot emphasize that enough. So when people want to get on me for this show, I voted for Trump twice. I'm not going to vote anymore. And again, that's based off of personal convictions, and that's based off of research. I can change my opinion. That's what we should be able to do. So I went to this school, and I was kind of getting in a point where I was like, I know more than most of the teachers. When I'm asking a question, like for more context, they're just sitting there like, I don't know, it's not in the textbook.
I love that,
Well,
dude.
it's like, well, could I have a little bit more? Is it okay if well, don't dig into that. Why? Because that's what they believe. But why do they believe what they believe? And I think that's something a lot of us don't bother to. If I've come to a conclusion, and I'm going to implement standards in my life, especially as a Christian, I should be able to give an explanation to every man that asks the question of the hope that is within me, as it says in 1 Peter 3:15. So I came back home. I went to a local community college, and I met a professor there by the name of Professor Finkel, and he started making me read, or the class in general, learn how to read texts and read in between the lines. Try to read a character as opposed to reading a story. And as somebody who's been a writer since the age of 10, that totally, gripped with me. I looked at Animal Farm in a different way based off of how he did it in a psychology perspective within the class as opposed to teaching it in English. And it really got me thinking, what are we missing in history like that? What are we missing in stories like that? And I started digging into stuff with Dr. Michael Heiser, started digging into Nephilim, giants, cryptids, and kind of came to where I am today. A lot of it I find is original. I don't see anybody else touching the things that I dig into, honestly. That's why I kind of like sharing the unique angle that I do have.
I love it. You've been writing since you were 10, and I write like I am 10, so we're kind of like, in a weird way, similar. So I have this show that I do on my premium content on my website, and we listen to Johnny Cash read the Bible, and my friend Giovanni Vuk and Logan Smith, they because they've been into Christianity longer than me, so they kind of break down what they believe is being said. And Johnny's been going to church forever. And I have my friend Tino. It's very funny because they've been telling me like all the stuff that bored them as kids in church is like what I'm getting my mind blown by. Like, it's just really amazing to me. And maybe the blessing is that I am getting it. I'm learning this stuff at an older age where I can appreciate it more. But I really do believe that, that the Bible's a lot more interesting than people are made to believe. And the thing that really blows me away about the Bible, listen, at the least, let's just say you didn't believe in the Bible. Let's say you weren't a Christian, you don't believe any of the stories, you don't believe that. You should read the Bible like you read, like, Lord of the Rings. Read the Bible like you read Game of Thrones. Just read the Bible. Like, I'm just telling you, man, it's way more interesting than I ever believed. And it's a lot more precise. And the one thing I will say is that blows my mind the most is that how much it parallels what I see happening in our own world today. And, those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. And I see it happening over and over, and it just blows my mind. I'm like, oh, that's this going on, like that's like that. And it's like, so, because, there's some people who are just black-pilled, and, I love them too. I love everybody, whether you're whatever your religion is or whatever you're black or you don't believe in a religion. I appreciate you listening to the show, but I find it to be super interesting. I find the whole thing to be very interesting. Okay, so we're getting to this. let's tell the crowd or the audience what you're here to talk about.
Okay, so I'm going to present, again, conspiracy, take it as entertainment, but I make a case where 9/11 is coronation day for the Antichrist. And I'm going to show it off of the Masonic symbolism, their own text, and what's in our country all around in symbolism. Again, I pull from their stuff, so...
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Ding dong. Okay, where do we begin, dude?
All right, well, I think we already got the screen share going on. Or did we?
Should do.
I should have worn my tinfoil hat Christmas edition T-shirt today.
Yeah, there we go, dude. There we go.
I think when I closed out earlier, it closed out. Hold on.
Okay, I love your screensaver. Love it.
Thank you. That's a D&D character of mine, Rowan.
I love it.
All right, present. Bring that up. So yeah, Babylon falls in an hour. That's a verse that we read in the Bible. And that's part of the reason and inspiration of why I entitled it that, because trying to look at America in a different lens, everyone goes, oh, it's the Catholic Church, that's the whore of Babylon. What little people do know is that in 1669, America, aka in DC, was known as Rome.
What?
So when folks are going, oh, huh?
1669?
1669.
2 years later.
Yep.
Wow.
So, again, the two pillars of Freemasonry, that is supposed to represent the two towers. A lot of folks do not know this. I'm going to be showing, again, based off of their text and history. So, was America founded as a Masonic country? Personally, let's take a look at the flag, right? Going across, you look at the basic flag. How many stripes do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, all the way down. And that's 11 columns.
What?
Going up and down.
Whoa.
Johnny,
On
you're
top
smart.
of
Did you
that-
know any of that, Johnny? Did you know any of that?
No, I hadn't heard that.
That's why I don't get too upset, because the Pledge of Allegiance was written by a Christian socialist that didn't believe in the virgin birth, and he wrote it with the incentive of making people loyal to the state. So when I'm hearing that, I'm like, I don't... Because on top of that, we got 13 stripes, yeah?
Yeah.
All those numbers together, we get Masonic 33.
What?
Not the flag.
So, part of that makes me go, all right, if all these colors are also affiliated with war, also in Syria and Egypt, red, white, and blue, kind of makes me scratch my head saying, are we founded for a different purpose than we originally thought? I think in the early 1600s, yeah, 1776, game over, man. Game over. Well, Brandon, how do you know that 9/11 is so significant? Well, again, we have 365 days out of the year, correct?
Yes.
3 plus 6, 9. 6 plus 5, 11. 9/11. Okay, what's the significance? The Tri-Hermes, aka the guy on your dollar bill, that's aka Nimrod's son Tammuz, the occult messiah figure, the all-seeing eye, pineal gland, call it whatever you will, how you can ascend to become your own god. Very similar to the Garden of Eden with the lives of Eve. You should become like gods. So that's the 3 points of the philosophy of how to obtain this via alchemy. So that equals the triangle. 6 equals the star of reprimand, named in Amos 5:26 and Acts 7:43. That's what I tell folks. It means conjoined as above, so below.